Yikes. Woodworkers love beautiful lumber, even more so, wood slabs. That's the good stuff, right? Well, I'm gonna tell you this, working with wood slabs is not fun. I'll go one step further and say slabs can sometimes limit your projects and it's better just to use regular lumber. So I get this call from my buddy. He knows somebody who just cut down a walnut tree. It's about 3 feet in diameter. I'm pumped up. I grabbed the old Stihl 660, my orange sexy chaps, and I'm off. But we got the most beautiful walnut slabs you could ever come across. Just mind-blowing. And that's the kind of stuff that we see on social media and YouTube videos. But that's not reality, and there's no clear evidence that whenever I tried to take some white oak slabs and turn it into an entryway bench for my house. Trying to figure out how I'm gonna pull this one off. I gotta get the bench top out of this slab here, and it's not the clearest wood. You see, we just got those insane walnut slabs, so I'm still riding that high. And then I find out there's somebody who just cleared out some land right near that same area that we got the walnut from. He says he has this huge stack of white oak logs, so boom, I'm there. And I'm looking at this stuff and I can already picture the beautiful furniture that's gonna be made from all of this. So I fire up the saw and I get at it. I run a 36-inch bar, Alaskan sawmill style. Rip and chain is sharp. I got plenty of extra chains so I can swap them out. I'm going to town and I'm cutting slab after slab after slab, just having a blast. I got everything home, stacked up all those slabs to let them dry. And hey, I know I can't do anything with this stuff for a while, but that's fine. I'll be patient because I know it's gonna be worth it. Fast forward several years, it's time to work on this entryway bench I'm gonna make. White oak is perfect for that. Now here's the thing though. The problem with working with slabs is that wood is unpredictable. I don't know what's gonna be inside that tree until I actually cut it up. And trees can be messy. You're gonna have bark inclusions and cracks, foreign objects. Trees grow around fences. There's nails, there's bullets. There's all kinds of stuff in trees. You just have no idea until you start cutting it up. Even if the slabs look great, you still don't know exactly how it's gonna go until you have the project ready to go, you get the slabs ready to go, you put them together, and you say, all right, I gotta get these parts out of this slab. How am I gonna do that? And there's the challenge. And that's what I faced with this entryway bench. Seems like there's knots and checks in all the wrong places for this one. It's a bench, it's gotta be a decent size, decent length and a decent width. Every time I find a section that looks like it's fairly long enough, there's a big nasty knot, hole, something in it that just really throws it off. And I don't want that. I know I could fill that with epoxy, but it needs to look clean looking. I want it to look decent and not just like it's got a bunch of holes in it. This section right here, I really like this linear grain. This looks beautiful. We got a check there, so I'd have to probably cut it over on this side of it. I could come all the way down this way, avoid this knot, then I get here. Well, now I have this ugly looking thing over on this side. This means that this piece is either gonna have to be shorter, so it either has to just be like this, or stop short that way. That's way shorter than what I wanted. So instead, I could skip that and go this way. I got plenty of space. There's a nasty little spot right there too. But then I'm only gonna get like this piece. All of this is sapwood. That's gotta get cut away. This piece, maybe 3.5 inches. That's it. I might get lucky to be able to get like 2 inches of material over on the other side of that knot too. You put those together, you know, between 5 to 6 inches. So I don't know, it's still less than half of what I'm looking for. Reason why I have to cut off all that sap though, let me show you what I found. The entire tree was infested with bark beetles. I would have never guessed it from the outside. The bark actually is, I mean, it was hard to get off. So it wasn't like it was just coming off. I mean, certain spots it was, but most of it wasn't. There's no like evidence of holes or anything being eaten away at the bark. But whenever you remove it, then you see the inside and it is chewed all to pieces. The thing is that only goes into the sapwood ends. Heartwood, perfect. Not a single bug. I've used a couple slabs from this log and other logs too. No issues whatsoever. All the bugs are dead, they're all gone. This has been drying for years. We're good. But it's not usable wood. That limits what I could do. I think it's just inherent in woodworkers that we picture how amazing it would be to have this in-house lumber yard filled with all these gorgeous slabs that we can just pick and choose for whatever project we want. And this is especially true whenever we look at the cost of a slab. Have you tried to go buy a slab from someplace? It can be pretty pricey. This side's not much better. We've got nasty spot there, a big check right there, holes from, looks like a tree trunk or a branch or something like that. All of this though, none of this is usable. all of this has to go. It's not very long, so maybe 2 or 3 inches out of this part right here. If I don't want to include that, 3 inches on this side, possibly. So I gotta be careful, I don't know what this is whenever I crack that open. This still has to be milled down. I don't know what's on the inside of this. I only see this side and the other side. Maybe I flip it over. Yikes. This side's much worse, huh? The slab's a decent thickness. It's probably 2 1/4 inches thick, but not quite thick enough that I could take it and resaw it, and then I have 2 pieces. Really, after you mill it down, make sure it's flat, let it acclimate, remill it again, you'll be able to use 1 board out of it. You're gonna have a thin board and then a board that actually would be thick enough for the top. Looking at this side though, whew, it's pretty ate up. But that stuff right down the middle, that's where the pith is, right? So this is a slab that was kind of towards the middle of the tree. It's not exactly where the pith is, but it's like the slab right next to it. And that's the part you want to avoid anyway. That's the part that's going to have more checking, cracks. We don't want that. And you can see why. There's some bark inclusions. Also looks like there's some areas that probably rotted, so some bugs got in there. There's still plenty of really nice wood over on the sides, especially some straight grain over on the left-hand side. I really like that. I don't know if that piece is really going to be long enough, but this is the challenge of dealing with slabs. Realize that my jigsaw blades are just a hair too short, so I can't use that. That would be my go-to. I can use a circular saw wherever there's spots that seem like it's safe enough to use it. With a circular saw on a slab, sometimes the blade can pinch, so you gotta make a lot of really shallow passes over and over again to be able to cut through it safely. So if I can't use a circular saw, reciprocating saw. It's messy, it's loud, but it does the job. This is that original section of the slab that I marked up, and it looked pretty good on camera. And then I cut it down the middle. Look at this. You can see the rotten spots, you can see bark inclusions, you can see where bugs are in there. It's not good stuff. And it's not like it's just on one side of the slab, so I can mill that side a little bit more than the other side and keep the good stuff. No, this stuff really kind of goes all the way through it. Ultimately, I'm going to take this and cut it even narrower than really what I wanted. I love having slabs. I love chainsaw milling. It's a thrill of the hunt. You don't know what's in that tree until you start cutting up in the slabs. Now, I wish what I could say is what I was dealing with this white oak was that it's like an extreme situation, right? I'm just blowing it out of proportion. I've milled up a lot of trees. I got a lot of slabs, all different species. No, it's just more of the reality of it. That's really what you face. What you see on social media and stuff of everything just being these gorgeous 10-foot, 12-foot long slabs of just clear wood, no issues in it, no knots, no cracks. That's extreme. That's not reality. We see somebody using those $5,000 slabs and we think, wow, that must be nice. Yeah, well, they cost that much for a reason, because they're not common. This is the unintended consequences of working with slabs. I end up tripping over stuff, so I have to stop, clean it up, and then go back to work, make a bigger mess, clean it up, go back to work, and so on. I feel like I've spent about half the day just milling up lumber. But I don't want to mill these up any thinner because I need to let this wood acclimate for a bit. But what I can do is trim it narrower whenever I see a spot that I know is just not going to get planed away. And I've got a couple of those, especially right here around the sap area and over here on this side where there's more rot. I'll cut over the table saw, but I'm still going to keep it a little bit oversized because who knows, maybe some of these spots will plane out. A lot of them won't though. And then I'll trim to their final size later on. I trim these down a little bit to see what I'm working with, and I'm gonna need some more wood. That slab was decent size. It was about 9 feet long and 22, 23, 24 inches wide. And all said and done, I've got maybe less than 12 inches width worth of material here. I got a bunch of like smaller pieces I could use for something totally different, but a top that needs to be probably close to 4 feet long, I have to actually cut up a whole other slab. Yeah. I wasted a whole lot of wood, and it was hard work and a lot of time to try to take these slabs and turn it into a bench top. And that's because I want to be selective with this. I have a certain look in my head of what I want this to look like. I want some clean lines. I want clean boards. I don't want to have a whole lot of knots. Yes, I could spend $1,000 on epoxy and fill everything, but it's still not the look that I'm going for. And that's what I talk about with limiting your projects. Is that what you want? Or do you want something else? Ultimately, I ended up having to make sacrifices by using these slabs instead of just going and buying some nice clean lumber and putting it all together and calling it a day. But here's the thing I want you to take away from this video. When you're dealing with slabs, sometimes you can luck out and get some really good quality wood. A lot of times though, it's a bit messier than that, and we're not so fortunate. Either way, that's a problem. I'll take any day of the week, and I want to have as many slabs as possible that I can choose from, even if I don't have the slabs that are perfect for the project I'm making, and I have to limit myself. Maybe I got to make this project shorter or narrower or whatever else, right? Because I'm working with the materials and I'm gonna let the materials dictate the project. And that's just a trade-off that you'd have to decide, are you willing to do this to get this? Hey, I'm gonna keep trying to get as many slabs as I can, and hopefully I get lucky and get better and better quality material. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank you to everyone over on Patreon for supporting me, supporting this channel, allowing us to do what we do here. To meet again, get in your shop and build something awesome.